we are still seeing the fallout from this huge embarrassment in which the corporate media got caught up in this story that originated with BuzzFeed, apparently began literally as fan fiction to diss Trump, and it went out of control, and everybody was forwarding it saying, oh, we got the goods on Trump, we got the goods on Trump. He had these 2 prostitutes in the presidential suite in Moscow, and they did horrible, horrible things to the linens. And everybody's pointing fingers at each other, and without even trying, I mean, Trump has now got CNN and BuzzFeed attacking each other in full view of the public. And the corporate media is uniting in defense of CNN. Even Fox News is out there trying to say, look, CNN they're honest and they're reliable and they're trustworthy, and, you know, this was just one goof. No, it wasn't just one goof. It's part of an ongoing pattern. We have seen this last year of constantly trying to shill for Hillary Clinton and damage Donald Trump, and before that, just decades and decades of lies about Saddam's weapons of mass destruction, Assad's sarin gas, the Lusitanian weapons, Pearl Harbor's a surprise, torpedoes in the Gulf of Tonkin, USS Liberty was purely an accident, and so forth and so on. How many times do you have to be lied to before you're willing to stand up and say, you guys are lying to us and we are not going to listen to you any longer? Because that time is at hand. Now, Kellyanne Conway was talking with CNN's Anderson Cooper over the fake news report. And basically, Kellyanne said from where the Trump campaign, Trump presidency sits, there's not a lot of difference between CNN and BuzzFeed. They just grabbed anything that sounded salacious and ran with it. Now, Stefan Molyneux is basically out there saying, if your own journalists cannot confirm any of this information, why are you publishing it? On what basis is the American public supposed to verify the information? Isn't that really what the journalists are supposed to do, is verify the stuff before it goes to press or gets broadcast? I mean, BuzzFeed is out there trying to say, well, we didn't know if it was true or not. We just thought the American people should decide. Now, over in Russia, there is a gentleman who was named along with his company in this documented alleged connections between Donald Trump campaign and Russian hackers. And he says no U.S. intelligence officers have ever contacted him about the accusation. Nobody came by and said, did you really do this? And he says, by the way, it's all fake. It's all false. And apparently even James Clapper is now calling it quits on this one and basically saying this whole BuzzFeed CNN report is in fact complete bovine excrement. And he's absolutely right about that. We all know it. And all the corporate media have got egg all over their faces. And as I said before, Fox News is, destroying their own credibility. Shepard Smith is defending CNN. So Fox isn't quite the unbiased source we were kind of hoping it would remain. It wasn't as compromised as the other corporate media outlets, but it's still compromised. And ever since Murdoch took more direct control, Fox News is just as bad as the rest of them. Now, there's an important question that everyone has to deal with. We all know what money laundering is. When you need to hide the fact that the money in your possession comes by way of nefarious sources, you transfer it through legitimate sources, and it appears clean on the other end. We all understand that. Well, the same thing is done to propaganda. Somebody will come up with some propaganda, and knowing that if they present it, it'll be viewed with suspicion, so they run it through something that seems like a legitimate source, like the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, or various other made-for-the-purpose front groups. And in this case, Senator John McCain became the propaganda laundry, because this story passed through his hands on its way to the intelligence agencies, who then apparently incorporated it into their assessments. They were made fools of, too, by this whole thing. And McCain is trying to duck the blame for having been caught up in this thing, saying that he was just doing what any normal American citizen would do, passing on indications of wrongdoing. Well, Mr. McCain, I have personal experience with that 22 years, going on 23 years ago, trying to point out where the White House Deputy Counsel was murdered. Didn't go all that smoothly. Now, story out of RINF.com, all of this Russia hacking evidence is a fake. And basically, there are groups that are out there to create propaganda and make it look like there's some kind of an independent investigation. CrowdStrike appears to be one of them. CrowdStrike, which was the DNC contractor, and one of their corporate officials is a member of the Atlantic Council, whose agenda is confrontation with Russia. And the fact is that the claims made by CrowdStrike aren't even backed up by CrowdStrike's own facts. It's just made to purpose.